is, you are all going to walk into the middle of this field, right, and start doing test bits. What is it absolutely essential that you find out about before you start wandering around as a unit, as a group? What have you done?
You're digging in the right place.
Pardon?
Permission.
Thank you, Penny. Yeah, permission. Yeah, digging in the right place. Yes, that's the latest strategy thing. The protocols that Jim and I have nervous attacks on is wandering around and finding the piece of field has been agreed on, but actually the little bit at the side is owned by an irascible farmer from somewhere or other. Now, thankfully, we've had some really nice farmers and they've given us permission. But you guys need to know, because what you don't do is wander around. What else do you need to know in terms of pre-dig protocols? What I think of as pre-dig protocols. What else do we need to know if we're going to wander in and dig that little hole?
Who owns the fines or potential fines?
Now this is what comes under the heading of what Phil calls the archive. He's been said to me for years, what are you going to do with the archive? Ivan, you found a wonderful piece of Roman pottery this afternoon, God willing, right? So there you are looking at it. What do you think it means if Phil says, Ivan, and he will, he's coming tomorrow by the way, he'll say, Ivan, what are you doing about the archive? What is the archive? What is this weird thing? Ivan's thinking.
Who looks after the fines at the end of the day? Who stores it?
Yeah.
Well, it's not just the fines, it's all the documents and the
Documents, fines, everything. It's the critical stuff. Now, this idea, wander into the field, dig a hole, put it in a box, take it home, and you lose it somewhere in the back of your shed. You're not allowed to do that anymore, right? You can't do that anymore. They used to do that in the old days, some famous diggers we know, and in the basement of Bristol University. You've got this stuff in boxes. The archive and its deposition, I think is the right word, Paul, isn't it? The deposition of the artifact and the records are critical. And in fact, on our project design that we've got here, which we'll be showing you tomorrow when it's raining, hopefully, it will say, where is the archive? Two things. One, where it's going. Two, permission from the farmer that the objects that you are lifting and we are taking from his field are going to an agreed place, and a letter from the agreed place saying, yes, we will take them. And about 4 times a year, Phil says to me, what about the archive? So pre-dig protocols, permissions, and where the archive is going to be stored. Absolutely critical. And you guys have not gone in the field yet. You've not made a move, Simon.
So how does the portable antiquities thing fit into that? Do you have to have a local archaeologist informed that you're going to do this thing?
Good question. Best person to answer that will be Danny, who's coming tomorrow, who's a fines liaison officer. And if we can, let's leave that for tomorrow.
Well, it does depend. It does kind of depend on the site. If the site's not scheduled or anything like that, and it's on private land, in theory, you can just go in and dig the hole. But it's kind of polite to let the local archaeologists know, and to let the local, particularly the HERSMR, know that you're going to do it, and let the county archaeologist know that you're going to do it.
So about 2 weeks.
But unless it's protected by law, you can just march in and start digging as long as you've got landowners' permission.
If you've got the landowners, but it would be a very unwise and tactless thing to do. Jim and I were having a conversation 3 days ago. Have we sent a letter to the county archaeologist to let them know, out of politeness? We are on their patch, and archaeologists are extraordinary territorial beings. That's putting it politely. So we let them know. We've let the local fines liaison officer know, so she doesn't find someone who says to her, have you seen, there's a bunch of people, right, that kind of thing, you can imagine. We've also let the English Heritage local officer know, out of politeness, but also we're on their patch. So you don't just wander in.